Hi, welcome to this series of videos on how to manage your Cisco device. In this series of videos, I'm going to be showing you how you can set up your routers and switches so that you can manage them remotely via, say for example, Telnet or SSH, how you can back up your configurations to TFTP server, how you recover passwords, how you recover a lost iOS back into the system. So we're going to be going through all manner of things in these series of videos. Now I've tried to keep these videos nice and short, no longer than 10 to 15 minutes each, so they're easily digestible. So where we'll start first of all is we'll have a look how you can back up your running configuration and your startup configuration to a TFTP device. The TFTP server I'm using isn't anything sophisticated. The TFTP application I'm going to use for this is this little program here called TFTP 32. This is a bit of freeware you can download from the internet. I believe it's on the ComSupport website. If you to go to, believe it's the resources page, if you double click and open it up, get this little message. Yep, publisher can't be verified, don't worry about that. This window opens up. Now this application is now automatically listening on port 69. If you remember from TCP and UDP, those two transport layer protocols have port numbers. If you also recall that the port number that TFTP uses is 69. The IP address that my laptop has is 10.1.1.1, which is, well, I put that there earlier on before we started the video. If you find that is you find 127.0.0.1, it's most probably because you haven't got a lead plugged into your laptop. If you open up this application prior to setting the right address on your network adapter, you will have to shut the application down, reset the IP address, and then reopen the application. It's not going to change the IP address in this application dynamically when you change the IP address in your network properties. Another thing to bear in mind is that when you do upload a file to the TFTP application, it will dump the file to wherever you have browse to. Now I'm going to deposit the file onto my desktop, so I'm going to browse to my desktop, okay there, and I'm going to leave it sort of just running there. The device that we're going to be backing up is my 1841 router. Just going to get a pen over here. If I can get the thing to work, that'd be great. Thank you, Mr. Pen. There is my laptop. My laptop's address is 10.1.1.1. My laptop is connected to a switch. The switch is completely transparent to the operations that we're about to perform. It's all in one VLAN. And you got my router here, which is on the address of 10.1.1.252. And it's on this router that we're going to go to next. And on this router, we're going to take its running configuration and we're going to back it up to the TFTP application on this very laptop. So let's go to the prompt. Before you carry on, there's my password is CISCO, enable CISCO. Before we carry on, it's always important, it's always a good idea to get your typing correct, Joe. Show IP interface brief would help. Is to verify you have the right address and also make sure that you can ping the TFTP server. Once you can ping the TFTP server, you should be able to back up your configuration to the TFTP server. And the way we back up our configuration to the TFTP server is simply copy, running config, TFTP. At this point, you can hit return, and it'll prompt you for the IP address of the TFTP device. So here we go, 10.1.1.1. Now we know we can access it, well, at least via ICMP. Hit return, and it says, what would you like to call the destination file name? It chooses the name, well, the host name of the device, -conf G. There's no I in there. A lot of people make the mistake of looking at it very briefly and then believing that there's an I in there, then they can't copy the file back down. If I hit return right now, it's going to accept that as the name of the file. So I'm happy with that file name. If you've set different host names, then it's going to take those different host names. So hit return now, and you get a pair of exclamation marks to define or denote that a copy operation has worked. If we go over here, the TFTP server has shown us that it's received something from this device here on this port here. Okay, if we minimize it, and on my desktop, pull it over here, there's a file there called r1-cfg. If I double click, and I'm going to choose Notepad to open up my file. Oh, in fact, I might actually choose WordPad instead. WordPad. It generally in WordPad it formats it in a proper. Oh, there it is. Just going to move it across where you can see it, and we have all the configuration that's on the router. There isn't much configuration there, but that's the configuration I currently have on this router. So if I were to lose the configuration on my router, it would be very easy for me to go to my WordPad, my backup, and either copy and paste it back into the router, or simply pull it back in via the reverse operation of copy TFTP to run, which I'll show you that in the next video. Okay, so thanks very much, and I'll see you in the next video.